talking about.
Hey guys.
It's just a pint.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Here at the Swamp, get ready to beat LSU. Y'all tune in to Rule Number 1 podcast on Monday.
And we're back. Episode 9, man. We have a cool guest star tonight, partner. I'll let you introduce him off the rip. He's your guy, man. He's your guy.
Yeah, this is one of my good buddies, lifelong buddies. This is Jake Fox. Jake and I went to high school together, played high school ball, and he got the opportunity in 2021. He was drafted by the Cleveland Guardians in the 3rd round. So welcome in, Jake.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. It's awesome to be here.
It's awesome to have you here, man. You know, a guy kind of like of your statute, we look at it like you're one of our guys that we kind of said off rip, like we need to get him on. He'll be a good fit for what we're trying to do here. He'll be a good interview, and lo and behold, you're here, and hopefully you're an inspiration, for future guests that are thinking about coming on, to come have a good time with me and Nate.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, Jake, just talking about the guy's character, the guy's all around great guy and one hell of a baseball player too.
Yeah, he is, man. Yeah, he is. Getting into that 3rd round, you said?
3rd round, yep.
Pick number
95.
Nice, man.
Yep.
That's a solid payout.
Yeah. It was cool. It was a good day with the family. The draft day was awesome.
I'm sure. Did you throw a nice little draft party?
No, I just had a family friends, and then my girlfriend was over. But yeah, we were just watching the draft and got my name called, and it was surreal. It was cool.
I bet your heart dropped too. You're like, holy cow, that's my name on national television.
Dude, I was so stressed out, and then it happened, and I was like, this is such a relief.
So did you go just about where you thought you were going to go in the draft?
Yeah, I was pretty sure I was going to be 2nd, 3rd round pick, and 2nd round went by, and then it was getting towards the end of the 3rd, and I was like, oh, if I'm going to go, it's going to be now. And Guardians called and said, we got this much, and I was like, let's do it.
I keep on hearing that name, man, like the Guardians, like, in my eyes, it'll never be. Like they'll always be the Cleveland Indians in my eyes, just because of, I've been a big fan of the Major League movies. I'm sure you guys have seen it and whatnot. It's just, I don't know. It's just not the same to me, but I kind of like the new logo, I guess. It looks good. They made it look traditional.
Yeah, if you give it another 10 years, you'll kind of forget about it.
Hopefully it'll grow on me.
Yeah, it was different. I mean, I was like right when I got to Arizona, our complex, they were like, yeah, we're changing our name. Because when I got drafted, we were the Indians, and I wore the last Indians jersey and got my name on it, so I got that in my room. But,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Dude, that's going to be worth a lot of money one day, man.
Maybe.
See.
Well, I hope so.
Well,
Yeah.
even just like saying, like, dude, this is like one of the last Indians jerseys made.
Right.
I know for a fact because that's my name on the back. And they gave it to me.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
When I saw Jake got drafted, obviously immediately I'm gonna text one of my good buddies like, "Hey, congrats, whatever." And then I think it was like a week or 2 after they switched, and then I texted Jake and I was like, "So how do you feel about the Guardians?"
Yeah.
He goes, can't really complain right now.
Yeah. I mean, everybody was texting me about that. They're like, "Bro, the Guardians? Like, what is that?" And I was like, "Dude, I have no idea."
Well, I'm sure you have a lot of say so in the matter. No, but it's awesome. We had a professional baseball player on the first episode. He was a Frontier League guy, so independent ball. You are our first, Major League Baseball affiliated guest, and that's awesome. We scratched that one off the list early, man. Yeah. I'm really proud of us so far. A lot of people keep asking us about the podcast. Hey, what's it about? What's it about? A lot of people are asking us about sports. It's about this. No, it's not just about sports. It's not a good example of having Jake on tonight, but it is what it is. We want to have fun with our guests and interview them, no matter what their background is. Me and Nate don't have any bias. We want to learn people's stories, and I'm sure he can back me up.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I was just telling Jake, and kind of explaining the whole podcast and the direction that we wanted to go. And what we want to do with this thing is be able to have people on in all different walks of life. One thing that we all can relate to and all can and kind of come together with is we all want to be successful. And so we want to have people on in different walks of life and that are embracing the grind, that are going through it or have already been successful in what they do, and maybe it can reach somebody and help inspire somebody else along their journey.
And one of the things we always do, man, It's a marquee. It's a staple. It's the name of the podcast. Jake Fox, what's your number one rule to live by, man?
Yeah. So one thing that I'm definitely going to focus on this year, obviously my faith is important to me, and something that I think just keeps me humble, keeps me, selfless, is loving people and loving Jesus and trying to serve both. And I think that's something that I need to definitely do a better job at this year. As last year, I kind of got prioritized with baseball, play a ton of games, and it's super mental, and you get kind of caught up in that aspect of it. And it's just, taking a step back, reflecting, and, knowing that this game is, it only lasts however long you play. And I could get hurt tomorrow. I could play 15 years in the big leagues, and there's more to life than, just the game of baseball. And kind of reflecting on that this year and understanding that I can just, I treat people, I can be a good teammate, and, that stuff matters.
That's a good way to look at it. On episode 5, we had Trey Matthews, who is a baseball coach at Valpo University up in right outside Chicago, I believe he said. And he told us, when I had to decide whether I wanted to keep playing because due to COVID, my season got short. He had a couple injuries. He was like, I looked at it like this. Baseball has 100% retirement rate. No matter who you are. You could be the greatest player of all time. You're still going to retire. And you see, you're a young guy. You got drafted last year, 2 years. This is your second full season. It's good to see that you have a good head on your shoulders this young. This isn't my life. I might be playing this for my job and, to keep getting better and better, but there's bigger and better things to focus on. And that's good to see that humility from, an MLB guy.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely something that's important, and, it can keep you grounded through a long year where it's very easy to prioritize, baseball and things like that, because it takes up a ton of your time. But, the one thing that's big is, when I'm trying to live by that rule this year, is not coming across like I'm better than anybody, because, I mess up every day. I fall short every day. And, that's one thing. I don't want to come across like I'm better than somebody, but I want people to know that, what I'm striving for my life to look like. And I'm not perfect, but that's what I'm trying to look more like Jesus every day. And that's what's important.
Yeah, and I feel like, because I'm in a faith too, and I feel like a lot of times whenever we kind of get caught up in, my life's going good. Right now you got everything going for you. You got drafted, you're playing very well. And then all of a sudden you get caught up in it's, I'm doing good and everything's good. And if you're not focused on the Lord, a lot of times the Lord will grab you right back and be like, well, you kind of took this for granted. Let's take a step back and remember, who put you in this area of life. So
exactly.
I think it was Riley last episode that he doesn't believe in karma, but he firmly believes, God sends what goes around comes around. But that's pretty cool, man. I'm glad that's a neat perspective to have. Honestly, we just met literally 10 minutes before we started recording. I was like, I didn't see that coming, man. Not at all. I was like, that answer kind of threw me for a little, whirl. It's like, it's good to see.
Yeah.
It's good to see.
Yeah, you can definitely get caught, like I said, prioritizing baseball, and you start swaying away from, I wasn't in my word, wasn't reading the Bible every day, and you get so caught up on other things that you start, getting in habits that you're not normally a part of. And you want to, what I always, what I've heard, what I've always been told is, you have influence, whether you like it or not. You can influence someone in a good way, you can influence someone in a bad way. And I just want my influence to be positive, and want people want to, walk how I talk. And when I talk about things like that, and when I'm, saying, talking about my faith, posting about it, I want my life to really look like that.
That's awesome, man.
100% respectable right there.
Oh, yeah. And then Jake's, like I said, Jake and I went to high school together. So a little bit more backstory on him. He went to Lakeland Christian in Polk County, Florida. We played Fort Meade, Brian's high school. He went to Lakeland Christian. We played together. And I'm 4 years older than you, 3 years older than you.
I think I was a freshman, you were a senior.
Yeah. And made the playoffs. We fell a little short my senior year, lost in the regional championship. But Jake came through, won a state championship the year after.
How does that feel? 99% of seniors don't get to win their last game. It
was interesting because we won it my sophomore year, and nobody thought anything of our team, and like we just ended up being so good, and we really weren't that talented, but it was like we all just came together, and it was super cool. The best part about it was winning, and my dad was the coach, so that was like a special moment that I'll never forget.
I can relate to that a lot, man. My pops was actually my high school coach too, but I really had a coach more than I had a dad, man. Like, people don't realize what goes into it. You go have a bad game, you're not going home with pops that night that's going to get you a good meal and tell you did good, man. You're going home with the coach. He's going to nitpick everything you did wrong to make you better.
Yeah.
And I respect my dad for doing it. Made me a better ball player, made me a better person. But no, that's really cool. I wish I could have experienced that. You know?
I mean, every time just jokingly, my dad's awesome. He never would, try to take baseball out of the field. And whenever we left, it would just be, I'm his son and he loves me, which is awesome. But, he'd make jokes like if I had a bad game, like, bro, you're sleeping in the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Well, a little bit on Jake's career at LCS. It was his senior year, and he was committed to the University of Florida. Go Gators.
Go Gators.
And he was going into his senior year, and there was a game against Tampa Catholic, and one of the pitchers, the opposing pitcher was Jose Pena, which he ended up getting drafted in either the 5th or 6th round of the same draft as Jake. And another one of Jake's teammates that I play with was Tybo Evans, who ended up going to Florida.
Solid outfielder there.
Yeah. And so those 3 guys were playing on the same field, so there was tons of scouts all over the place, and it's a tight game. Jake comes up to bat against Jose. Jose grooves him a fastball, and Jake takes him absolute yard. And so somebody's videoing this, and they send it into Barstool Sports, and Jake Fox's home run against Jose Pena goes viral.
I saw the video. I saw it on Barstool. Didn't you posted it personally, right? Yeah, I saw it there too.
Yeah,
Man,
I'm
pimp
not
job.
100% sure on how Barstool got it, but I was getting tagged on Twitter like a million times, and I go on Twitter and like Barstool Sports posted it, and I was like, oh, it was getting so many views, and then someone like cropped under that like a video of my swing and Bryce Harper's home run swing, like side by side, and I was like, dude, this is
crazy,
this
man.
Is crazy, yeah. But I mean, Pena he's a good pitcher. Like, then nobody saw the 2 at bats before that where he just dominated me, and like, yeah. So first at bat, he gets me 0-2, and I ended up getting jammed on a fastball, rolling it back to him, and then second at bat, he throws me like 3 straight changeups, strikes me out, and then third at bat, just first pitch fastball, and I was literally just looking for that the whole game. And then after I hit it, I just blacked out. I don't remember anything, and I don't remember anything until I looked at the video after the game, and I was like, dang, I pimped that like too hard.
Yeah, so talking about the swing, I mean, the video, Jake literally demolished this ball, and he pimps the living crap out of it. Like, he complete bat flips, start jogging right out of the box. I mean, it's super cool video. If y'all have the chance to see it, go look it up. But how'd that feel? Like, all the clout coming your way, because that boosted your draft stock like crazy.
I mean, yeah, there was a ton of scouts there, probably around 40 or 50, just because of me, and then Tybo was also another guy that was thinking about signing going into the draft, and then obviously Jose Pena, and the scouts knew that Pena was probably one of the best arms we were going to see all year, and that's what they want to see is us hit against good arms, and they wanted to see Pena throw against good hitters, and my team senior year was pretty good, so there was tons of scouts there. It was really cool.
Yeah, along the lines with talking more about players on your senior year, there was a guy that went to Oklahoma, 2 guys that were committed to Florida, Virginia Tech. There's another big name.
Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn.
Sawyer Tony, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a bunch of like really good D2s and JUCOs too.
Yeah.
So I mean, the team was absolutely loaded. So
yeah, I remember hearing a lot about your senior year, that LCS team. My dad's still the head coach down at Fort Meade.
Okay.
So I get the Polk County baseball scoop, even if I don't want to. Sometimes he'll call me after a bad game and be like, "Man, LCS just drummed us 12-0. They got 13 D1 commits on their team. How in the hell is Fort Meade supposed to compete with that?" I'm just gonna be like, "Hell, man, I don't know." go be a dog.
I feel like, whenever you have that good of a team, you never win it all. Like, you never do. Like, I remember we played Berkeley Prep, and they just demolished us, and we were like, there's no way it's going to end like this. Like, we were nationally ranked, like, top 20 in the nation, like, of a high school team, and we're like, dude, we're never going to be this good ever again. Like,
it's kind of like the 18-0 Patriots getting to the Super Bowl, losing on the helmet catch, or what's another good one? The Kentucky basketball team that was like 34-0, getting to the Final Four, and then lost to like a 7th seed Wisconsin. Like it was insane.
It happens. It's weird, but it happens.
It's kind of like a jinx almost for the sports gods.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of times in professional sports, whenever, or at least in basketball, whenever they load these super teams up, a lot of times it's a lot of these egos that are like smashing together. I know that wasn't the case necessarily for LCS because them boys were super, super tight. But I mean, you see in professional sports all the time, whenever you put, 5, 6 superstars is on a team, that just doesn't necessarily work out.
I always wait for the documentaries to come out of these teams. There's going to be one about LeBron and Kyrie in Cleveland. There's going to be one. Like, there's going to be one about, LeBron and
Miami Heat.
Yeah, like the big three. Yeah. Like, it's going to happen. I can't wait to see like the juicy details that come from stories like that.
That new one, Team USA in 08 just came out.
Really?
It's called the
Dream Team 2.0 or something like that. Yeah.
It's Kobe, LeBron, Dwayne Wade. Like, it looks
really good.
I gotta watch it. I
have to check that out.
Yeah, I gotta check it out too.
Yeah, Jake was a big basketball guy in high school too.
Yeah, I was. I actually, that's what I wanted to do. After I went to Cooperstown when I was 12, like I did the whole travel ball thing, went to Cooperstown, whatever, and I quit for a couple years. I was like, I want to play basketball. Like, I always told myself, I was like, I want to go be like the next good white dude at Duke, because Duke always had the white kids, like Grayson Allen, like JJ Redick. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna go play at Duke, and I'm like, not even like. It took me to go to like this like real like legit like Adidas like sponsored team, like Adidas Gauntlet like travel circuit tryout, to realize I'm like, there's no chance.
I don't belong here. I don't belong here.
I don't belong here. It was sick though. I was glad I went, because then I could be like, this is not going to work out. Like, I'm not that good.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, because, there's the stigma nowadays surrounding baseball. Hey, if you want to be good at baseball, you need to play baseball year round. You don't need to worry about other sports. Like, that's not the case, dude. You look at all these big time athletes, man, like Clayton Kershaw. He was a center, played center in high school or something like that. Matthew Stafford he pitched. He's the quarterback. You always see the crossover. I 100% support it. Too.
The biggest one in all of sports history, Bo Jackson.
Yeah. Really. I mean, even Aaron Judge. Yeah. Aaron Judge played D1 college football, and now he's playing for the Yankees. And that new dude, the catcher from the Orioles. What's his name? He's from Oregon State. He played.
Adley Rutschman.
Yes, He played D1 football and D1 baseball. Yeah. So you can do it, man.
Yeah. A big thing that the scouts honestly loved was that I played both. Like, they love multi-sport guys. They love athletes. Like, a lot of teams will draft athletes. Like, they love athletes.
I feel like playing different sports like that builds different parts of athleticism. Baseball is like the hand-eye coordination, reaction time. Football is more your physical, like, strength. I don't know. Basketball be your agility and.
I think basketball helped a lot with my feet and playing shortstop, and now that I'm with the Guardians, I started playing center field and playing in the middle of the diamond, and I love playing. Yeah, they moved me out to center field a little bit this year. I kind of split back and forth, but it was awesome. I loved it. It's it's a good opportunity for the future to be able to play multiple positions, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
I know personally for me, when I would come off of the football field, because I played football and baseball in high school, when I'd come off the football field, it was like the amount of in shapeness. I was so much more in shape at coming out of football than like kind of trying to swing into football. Yeah. Going into baseball season, it was like, dude, I was ready to go.
I'm already in my peak condition.
Yeah.
Thanks, football.
Yeah. Lifting twice a day and everything coming into baseball season, I was ready to rock.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, if I have a son one day, I'm not gonna limit him to one sport. I mean, obviously, I'd love him to play baseball, but if he wants to go play football or something else, go for it, man. Yeah. I'm not gonna stop you at all. Jake, you had a lot of offers coming out of high school, like, and you had the draft. How did you decide, like, where?
Yeah.
What was your?
I had a lot of good schools that wanted me to play for them, and I ended up choosing Florida. Had a lot to do with that my freshman class that would have been going there. I think we were the #1 recruiting class my year, and I was super close with a lot of those guys. I played travel ball with them, but yeah, I mean, I knew I wanted to sign. It just just kind of depended on when I win and what I got paid, and but I was watching the draft, the first round, because that's super important. Just watching those teams that are interested in you, who they pick before you, and trying to see how much they pay those guys, because they can't spend over a certain amount on the draft or they get penalized for the next year. Yeah. So I'm watching that, communicating with my agent and stuff, and yeah, but that was kind of the whole process. Just watching, waiting, and just communicating a lot, and just a lot of sitting around waiting.
Whenever you were trying to decide, what was kind of your, if I don't get this, I'm going to UF? Like, was there a line, or was there like a certain round number that if I fell later, I'm going here? What was your kind of deciding factor?
Yeah, I got some good advice, which was like, if you want to sign, don't not sign because of $100,000 or $50,000. Like, it's not that much of a difference in the long run. Like, if you want $1 million and you get offered 900, don't go to school because of that little of a difference, And I did want to sign, and Cleveland offered me $850, which was 200 something above the slot value, which the round does matter, but not crazy. Like, you see teams overpay crazy in later rounds, depending on whatever. Like, somebody could fail a physical and then they end up giving a kid a lot of money, things like that. But yeah, I wasn't not going to sign because of what they offered me. I wanted to sign, and it was a good bonus. It was a lot of money for 19-year-old kid, and yeah.
I feel like if you do decide to sign and play professional baseball, at some point you're gonna get paid. Like, even if you do sign, a free agent deal, if you're playing good enough and you're moving up the ranks of minor league baseball, and you get the call to the big leagues, like, you're good enough, you're going to get paid. Like, I just feel like that's going to happen. Essentially going to happen. So money shouldn't be. I mean, I guess it is a thing for some guys coming out, but I just don't know.
I mean, I feel like it's yes and no to what you're saying, because guys that get drafted, out of high school in the 10 through kind of 15 round phase, you get that kind of slot where it's like, okay, I could go to a D1 school, for instance, Florida, Vandy, Auburn, Arkansas, wherever, big D1 school, and you could go there for 3 years, or the JUCO route, and your draft stock could become a lot better. Yeah. But you're also risking injuries. You see that a lot where guys were like, no, I want that, 800 plus signing bonus, and they get the 600, like, nope, I'm going to play D1 baseball, and then they blow up their shoulder or elbow or whatever, and they don't get anything. And so that's what I kind of admire about Jake, and I've always thought, obviously I was never put in that situation, but I always thought, like, if I get drafted out of high school and it's, anything over 500, I'm going, like 100%.
Yeah, it's the money wasn't necessarily like a complete focus, but when a team pays you a good bonus, they're invested in you, and that's also
it's a good feeling.
That's what's important as well. That they wanted you, and you know that they're important to them, but that wasn't like the main drive of why I wanted to sign. My dad, he's family's blessed, and well off, and because my dad's worked so hard, so that wasn't the drive. My dad never says to make decisions based on money, but it's what I wanted to do at the end of the day, and got the opportunity. So
well, also with that,
you've taken advantage of your opportunity, pal. You 100%. Like, you've moved up the rank. Like, I've kept tabs on you because I always keep tabs on my Polk County athletes.
Right.
Guys that get drafted that go play big football or baseball. I always keep my tabs, and I looked at you, and you've gotten up to high A short season, right, or Double A?
I'm in. So I played rookie ball right when I got drafted. I played like 15 games, and then last year I spent the year in low A. So next year I should start in high A and hopefully play well enough to end the year in Double A.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, you're moving up quick, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you have goals and aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
Also, go back what I'm saying. Sorry, I hit a
Yeah, it's fine.
complete blank.
I was trying to help you out
I was
there.
like, I had a complete blank. But what you were saying, whenever a team offers you that amount of money too, they want a return on their investment too. So they're looking at Jake like we offer Jake $800,000, like we expect to see results. So they're always keeping an eye on you too, going through the rookie ball and single A, double A, whatever. They want to get you through the system. How does that kind of play into the pressure of you going up to bat every single time? Now that it's a business, it's not necessarily high school baseball. Like, oh, we got a game tonight.
Right.
This is business. This is your job. How does that play in?
It is a business, and they do a great job at the development. And I get asked all the time, how's the transition from high school ball to pro ball? And I always say that I think that our organization specifically does such a great job with player development that the training is so, high level that they make that transition easier with the training that we have. And, because you see 95, 98 every night now, it's unreal. But I've gotten used to that, and it's crazy. Like in high school, I would have literally just been blown up by that. But, I've gotten so used to it. We have such good training techniques and all these, like, machines and everything, and our coaching staff and everybody on our staff just awesome. And they're always wanting you to be successful. That's another thing. They're not gonna move you too quick because they want you to be successful, and they want you to be confident in yourself. So, if you're having a bad year, they're not just gonna move you up because you got paid. Sometimes that's the case, but other times, like I feel with our org, they want me to be successful. So they want me to be confident, they want me to be comfortable, and they want me to be successful.
Yeah, I feel like they're also kind of, investing time and, letting you grow. You're only 19, 20?
19.
Exactly. You're 19 years old, dude. You're still a kid. Like you haven't reached your full maturity health wise yet, mentally wise. Like you still have some growth to do, and they definitely see potential there. I see it every time I see a video of you hitting. I'm like, this guy's got a big league swing, bro. Like I'm seeing
it's a super
smooth,
pretty left-handed swing.
I'm just seeing smooth bat path. He's got quick hands. Like he checks off every box. But no, it's glad, man. How was I didn't get a chance to check out the numbers, and I hate to be a numbers guy. Like how was this past year for you? How'd you finish
solid
up?
Year. Yeah, it was a solid year. Obviously what's cool about our organization is they're not too number focused because of, it's crazy with all the data analytics that, these organizations have now. They can determine, they don't necessarily determine a year based on your batting average or some stat like that. So that was kind of something, because I'm always used to just raking in high school, hitting like 400, 500. And I get to pro ball and I'm like hitting like 280, like 280, 260, 250. And I'm like feeling like I'm having a bad year. And it took me a while to overcome, like, no, dude, you're having a great year. Like you're 19 years old in this league. Like the average age is like 22, 23-year-olds. Like, you're hitting 250, 260 with like a 750, 800 OPS. Like, dude, you're having a great year. Like, you're not supposed to be in this league right now. You're supposed to be in rookie ball, but you're here.
And you're in a weird time in the MLB, because like you said, everything is moving towards like different data, different statistical data. They can keep track of literally everything now.
Right. Yeah.
And they seen, Jake Fox, 1 for 10 his last at bats. 20 years ago, it's like an average of 100. Oh, we'll write him off. Yeah. Well, this year, or like nowadays, it's like, well, Jake Fox was 1 for 10, but 9 of those outs were 100+ mile per hour line drive, line outs.
Yeah.
And they have the numbers to track that. And that goes into seeing the development of guys. Right. It's not all about numbers. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it's cool, but at the same time it's like you try not to make excuses for yourself, but because me and my hitting coach talk about this all the time. It's like we don't believe in luck. It's either, like an angle issue, the angle of the ball leaving the bat, or a speed issue, how fast you're moving the bat, of why, you might say you're getting unlucky, but it's like, no, you just need to play better angles or hit the ball harder, get stronger and work on that. It's not luck. It's, it's you work at that stuff.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the facilities that y'all like have. What's you want to go into that a little bit more, whether it's, a TrackMan or, iPads or whatever.
So we actually have this machine called a spin ball machine. We call it the iPitch. It's literally any pitcher you can put their exact movement on every pitch that they have in their arsenal, and you can hit it off a machine, and it's literally exact, like Bro, the data I've learned from high school to now is insane. Like, I could talk about that forever, but it's like exact horizontal movement, exact vertical movement, either on a fastball, breaking ball, a changeup, and it's like Jose Barrios from the Blue Jays. We hit off him all the time just for fun. Like,
is it the machine that, I don't know if you guys seen it off of TikTok? That King Juco guy.
That's the same one.
Same machine.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that thing's cool, man.
The green and black one.
Yeah.
Exact. It's that. It's awesome. We have one at I think we'll have one at every affiliate next year, but this year we had one in low A and we used it all the time, and it was awesome it's exact velo, exact movement, and then we have the TrackMan to literally track it and make sure that it's correct. And yeah, it's super cool because, I mean, we get our reports on the starting pitcher that night and the relievers. I always ask for the advance report, but we get our report at 12, 1 o'clock, and the game's at 6, 7, so we can kind of look at that and get our plans ready, prepare, and we kind of just go off the machine, and we're able to hit whatever that guy's got for the night, and then you get in the box, and it's like
you've seen it. You've seen it.
You're doing it
Dude,
harder.
that's so insane, man. Like, that's literally insane. Like, if you're going up against, I don't know, David Price from wherever he's playing at now. I'm going to get 10 at-bats off David Price at 2 o'clock today in the cage before I go out there.
Exactly.
That's essentially what it is now.
Yeah.
That's freaking badass.
Yeah, it's always, try to make the practice and training environment harder than the game.
Yeah.
That's what we always try to do. And it's crazy because, like, me and Smothers in high school, we just, like, hit flips and hit BP. And it's like, all right, go have 4 at-bats tonight. Like, I don't even know what this guy's throwing. I don't know how hard he throws. I don't know what pitches he throws, but I guess you'll find out.
And what's crazy is because we would get in the cages, and if we were hitting the top net, like even if it was flips or somebody was throwing, like if you hit top net a certain amount of times, like we'd have to get out. And so, and nowadays, like if you're looking at the launch angle stuff, you're wanting to hit, the top back.
Net. Yeah. Like you want to drive the ball out of the park.
Yeah. So like beginning of the year, like my average launch angle was, like -2 or something. Like I was hitting a lot of ground balls.
Yeah.
So they told me, like, the organization wanted me to when I missed, they wanted it to be in the air, not on the ground. So I was working on that a lot. And yeah, it's just crazy. Like with all this data stuff, they can see that. And we got this thing called a K-vest, and it's like all these things. It's one hook to your hand, one hook to your arm, one hook to your pelvis, and it's literally like a 3D. Like you can literally see it, like your body, how you're moving during your swing.
Yeah,
and like
really,
it's crazy. Like all the data, like one of our hitting guys, his name's Nate, dude. He's like the smartest dude ever. He comes in with this K-vest, this data, and we just sit and go over, and it's crazy. Like you go over data with that guy forever. It's unreal how much we have.
Man, that's nuts, dude.
Some guys like, thinking about that much, and some guys are like, I don't want to think about that data. Like
you like an old school approach, like I'm just gonna play the game.
Yeah, like some guys want to know a ton about the starting pitcher that night, and some guys are like, nah, I just want to know a little bit, and that's all I need, because some guys will think too much. I like to know a lot because I think that stuff's interesting, and I think if I see a guy with a certain profile and then I go face it, I'm like, okay, I know what that profile looks like now. Mm-hmm.
And it's so much easier to make adjustments too. Like the big leagues is such a big thing about making your adjustments. And if you feel something in your swing, you gotta change it you're playing every single day. And so being able to have that technology to be able to break it down and for visual people to look at it and be like, well, I'm dipping my back shoulder, or I'm getting on my front foot, or I'm rolling over too much. That's super cool. And I feel like if people in college or high school had that opportunity, they might be able to get to the next level. But I guess
totally
that's what
agree.
the next level provides.
That's what the next level is, man. Like you need that to survive at that level, I guess. Yeah. I'm glad we finally got into the pro ball thing. I've been excited to talk about it. How's life on the road, man, for a minor leaguer? I know a lot of guys, if I've been buddies with, they're like, dude, it sucks. Like,
I think it all depends on, like, I guess who your teammates are. Like, I was around an awesome group of dudes this year in low A, and all of them were awesome. A lot of Latin kids, which is awesome to be around. It's it's different. It's trying to learn to speak Spanish, and it's so fast I can't understand anything. But a couple of them would speak English and Spanish, so we would just translate back and forth. But life on the road, man. You're in the hotel. A lot of guys like the life on the road, honestly, because of you didn't have to get to the field until 2, which, when you're at home, you're there at 12 or 1. And because, the home team has to hit first, take BP on the field first. And then you got like 2 hours of downtime just in the locker room doing nothing before the game. But on the road, you get there and you don't have any downtime. It's like you're in the cage, you're doing early work defense, and then you're hitting BP, and then you're getting some food, and then you're getting ready for the game. But after the game, we just try to find anything to do. Like a lot of us play video games, PS5, play some card games, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's different depending on, where you're at on the road. Some places are not as nice as others, and some places are cool to be at. But yeah, like I was telling you before the podcast, like we don't have cars, like, so we're just spending tons of money on DoorDash. It's like you're not on the field till 2, so you kind of got to eat breakfast and lunch unless you're just sleeping in, which a lot of us just sleep in because you're so exhausted from the game before. But the pitch clock was so clutch this year. Like there was a pitch clock, so. I mean, we played some games in like 2 hours. It was unreal. Like
That's crazy.
It was amazing. Like
It's
go.
Let's
go. It's like you better be ready, and if you're not, it's a strike. Like you got to be. It's the clock's at 15 seconds between pitches, and if you're not in the box by 9, it's a strike. And then, it's crazy. And if the pitcher doesn't throw the ball by 0, it's a ball. So it sped the game up a ton. And some guys didn't like it, but I loved it.
I didn't know the 9-second rule was a thing. In college baseball, we played the NAIA. The rule was my senior year, some older umpires didn't really care. It's baseball. They let it slide. But they would always tell you 1 foot in the box, 1 out. Don't leave the box.
Yeah.
1 foot in, 1 foot out. I didn't know that 9-second rule is pretty cool.
Yeah, you don't really have much time to leave the box. You can call time once during an AB. So, like, if you get something in your eye, or if you call time once to just, like, kind of just catch yourself for a second and take a breather, and then you try to call time again because you got something in your eye. You're screwed. Yeah, you're screwed. It's like, sorry.
Go ahead and take the K.
Yeah.
But that's good that Major League Baseball's addressed that issue, because that was a lot of fans were saying, like, man, I don't want to go watch a 4-hour baseball game.
Oh, yeah. I don't even want to do that. Like, I don't even like watching it like that. Like, 4 hours, I think it's cool that they're not implementing it in the playoffs, though, because the playoff environment's different. And that's, the playoffs is the playoffs. Like, that's legit.
Let's bask in the glory of it, man.
Exactly.
I love playoff baseball.
We started I can't be in the grass in the infield this year. Just trying to, and you can't, so second base goes out, and say I'm playing second, I can't cross second base on the shortstop side trying to take away
shift
shifts.
rules. Yeah.
We were kind of like the test bunnies for these rules. Like, they would do different things, and like the bases are larger this year. They're huge. They're literally like a pizza box. It's crazy. Like, they're trying to, I guess, take away, injury collisions of, feet and things like that. But
have y'all got the appeal for the umpire yet?
No, but my buddy who played in the Florida State League, it's a low A league in Florida. They had that where, like, say he takes a pitch, the umpire calls it a strike. He thinks it's a ball. He can just be like, no, challenge.
I did see that.
They just like challenge it on the TrackMan, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, it was a ball. You can keep the challenge."
Huh.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen because I think SportsCenter posted it. But there was a guy that was in AAA, because it's in AAA, and he challenged it, and it was like the first ever successful challenge.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, I don't necessarily like that though, because I think you take away that aspect of the game. Like, the umpire's going to be bad sometimes. He's going to be good, but, like, that's kind of
part of the game. Yeah,
like,
dude.
The
like,
human
that's
error, the human element of it. Like, you got to deal with that sometimes.
Been here since the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
You think towards the end of your career there'll be robots back there?
I hope not.
TrackMan?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know. I hope not, because when we're in Arizona in our complex, like, taking live at bats and stuff, we'll use the TrackMan zone, and it's just like, it's crazy. Like, it's
don't feel like the strike zone.
No.
I mean, my thing is, like, if they do that and they take away, an umpire back there, it totally, the fact of receiving. Yeah. I was a catcher, bro. Yeah. I look at catching like an art, bro. The art of receiving, getting balls that are balls called strikes. That totally goes out the window.
Yeah,
like,
because you just look where it crosses the zone.
Yes,
and it's like,
nobody's going to be a catcher anymore. It's going to be just stick somebody back there who can hit and keep a ball in front of them. Like, that, we don't care about receiving. The strike's going to be a strike or a ball. Like, that's why I'm totally against it.
Yeah, I mean, which technically, I mean, where it crosses, it could be a strike, but I mean, I don't know. It's just, I feel like it might end up leading to that. I hope not, but who knows? We'll see.
It might be just an umpire back there with an earpiece, and somebody's being like, strike.
I've seen that in the minor leagues. Yeah, they started doing that too.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that. I just like the art of receiving, man. If a catcher can get his pitcher, 2 balls off the plate for a strike 3 call out, like, you're doing your job. You're getting paid to do that. Like, and if you have an automated strike zone, the guy's like, yeah, that's a ball. It's 2 balls off. The guy in my ear just told me.
You guys,
nice receiving though. You made it look cool.
Yeah.
You see that umpire that called the perfect game? Like, he literally called a perfect game in the World Series, I think it was, or the playoff game.
I didn't see that stat.
Every strike and every ball was perfect. I saw John Boy Media posted a.
They can't complain.
Yeah.
They can't complain about that. Then
I mean, I think it was like some crazy stat. It was
That's
like
insane.
I don't know if he was the only guy to do that in the World Series, but he might have been.
I feel like I did hear something about that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But, Jake, so I know it's a huge jump from going from this, high school star kid to playing in the professional leagues, especially because you said you're in Arizona, right?
Right, yeah.
So how was that transition? You coming from a big fish in a small pond in Lakeland, Polk County, Florida, then going all the way out to Arizona to go play professional baseball. How does that work?
Yeah, so I was at Florida. Sully made us, the freshmen, come up for the summer B term to take classes, get ahead of the spring. So when you get into the real spring season, it's not as bad. So you're kind of knocking out some credits in the summer. So I was there for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I drove home for the draft weekend, got picked, and then I literally drove to Gainesville, packed my dorms, said bye, left, and then I didn't realize the timeline on when I was gonna report, and then they called me and were like, "Yo, you're gonna come out here in a week," and I was like, "Oh, that's fast," and
yeah.
I was like, I just turned 19, so I'm like, all right, well, I packed my stuff,
Yeah.
flew to Arizona, and I didn't know anybody, and I was following our draft, tracker, and it was like me and this other kid named Tommy were the only 2 high school kids we drafted in my class, so it was all college kids out there. I roomed with 2 college kids, pitcher that went to Georgia, and then a outfielder that went to Long Beach State, but they were both, I think Brian, the pitcher, was 23, and then the other kid was 22, so it was different, but I liked being around older kids. Like, it was just, I liked the maturity level aspect of it. But I mean, I got super close with them and got super close with my whole draft class. But yeah, that was definitely a big jump. It took me a while to get used to, like, just living on my own. Like, I didn't see my fam for a while. I didn't see anybody for a while. It was just, it happened super fast, which was kind of just hit me quick. But I think that the Guardians do a great job at, no matter where you're drafted, what pick, what round, they treat you the same. They treat everybody the same, and they treat people like people, and that's how it should be.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
You're shining a lot of light on how well the Guardians facility and their staff is. That's good to see. A lot of these guys have even wilder stories than you. They're coming from like the islands, with essentially nothing to this place. Like, that's tough. That's a tough transition, man. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, so, you mentioned having 22, 23-year-olds getting drafted above you and you being, the young guy on the team. I bet, learning from those guys, being able to get the experience from them because they did just see, 4 years of college, top competition. Did they help you with your approach at all?
Yeah, I think it was, kind of cool and it continued over to the season. Like, I roomed with a lot of pitchers, so, like, they would ask me my approach when they're thinking about attacking a hitter, and I'm talking to them about what they're thinking about when they're, just how they're attacking players. So, yeah, we kind of went back and forth all year, and it was good to kind of pick their brains. And they played in college, they played at a higher level than me, and yeah, it was super cool to be able to talk to them and kind of learn from them, and especially the ones that played at big D1s, and even if they didn't play at a big D1, they got drafted, so they're obviously
good,
a really good player. Yeah, right.
Yeah. 100%. That's a good tool to have as a baseball player, to be able to be coachable from other guys. You're only going to learn, especially being 19. You said one of your guys went to Georgia. Pretty sure that the guy from Georgia learned a lot in the SEC over his 5-year span, being 23, getting drafted. It's always good to see and hear like young ball players take advice. Any baseball players out there watching, take advice. Be coachable. That's only going to help you, man.
Right.
And that'll help you get to the next level. But I do have a question. This is kind of a fun question. Jake, I noticed on your Instagram you've got the blue check mark now.
Right.
How did that feel, man? You're like, I've got the blue check mark. Like, is it like, okay, like I'm kind of official now? Or how'd that whole like scenario of like, okay, I'm a professional baseball player now. I've got a blue check mark. Like somebody looks my name up on the internet, they're finding, Cleveland Guardians, middle infielder.
Yeah, so like, I mean, obviously I followed baseball players on Instagram when I was in high school, middle school, and I'm seeing them with the check mark, and I'm like, bro, that's so cool. And then, I get it one day, like my agency, they get all their social media contacting and all that stuff, and I end up getting it because I got drafted. And at first you're like, dang, bro, that's awesome, and then it's just kind of like, it's just a blue check mark.
We're still waiting on ours. I'm sure if we ever get ours one day, we'll be excited. But then like we'll go, well,
yeah, bro. Like a couple weeks later, you'll be like, I mean, I don't really think there's any like perks with it. It's just a blue check mark.
I know that's one of like his personal goals.
Yeah, that was mine. I was like, dude, that's sick. When I get a blue check mark, like my IG is verified, and then like I think like a couple weeks, maybe a month after that, I'm like, oh, that excitement didn't last
long.
It was like, that's whatever,
That's awesome. Well, I think this is a great time to kind of get into the Snap questions. So I was kind of explaining to Jake before what our Snap questions are, and it's really just to get to know you as a person. We kind of got a little taste of that, you talking about your faith. But we ask this question every single week. We ask each one of our guests, if you could have 3 people, dead or alive, they're out and all over the world, out to dinner, who would they be, and kind of like why would you have those 3 people out to dinner?
Yeah, so I think one obviously for me would be Jesus. I think that would be my top one. That would be so cool. Just talk to that dude about life and like just anything. Like that dude he knows everything. He knows everything about you. And then the next one would be Tiger Woods. I love golf. He's not necessarily the greatest dude. I watched his documentary and I knew nothing about that until I watched the documentary, and I was
I'm sure him and Jesus are gonna have some to talk about at dinner that
night. Jesus and Tiger there. And then my last one was Jazz Chisholm Jr. He plays for the Marlins.
Yeah.
Bro, I love watching that dude. He's electric.
The ice cream glove.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's awesome to watch, and like I just like watching him. He's so he's small. He's a small dude, and he just has so much power. And
swaggy,
so
man.
Fat. Yeah, he's swaggy.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, Tiger would be sick. I love golf. That's like something I love to do whenever I'm not playing baseball.
Speaking of the ice cream glove, do you have are you signed with any endorsements yet in terms of like gear or anything?
So I kind of like to use multiple brands. So right now, no, because I'm kind of like I like to wear Nike some days. Some days I like to wear Adidas cleat. I'm always using Rawlings gloves, and then bat companies, I'm swinging different bats. I'm trying different stuff out, trying to find what I like. Maybe switching up the weight, the length towards the end of the year when I'm getting tired. But cleats, I like all kinds of cleats. I used probably 2 or 3 different Nike models, a bunch of different colorways, and then I would wear the Adidas too. Adidas were super light. I love the Adidas.
Yeah, you gotta love those Adi Zeros.
Yeah, I love them. That's what I wore in high school. But yeah, it's awesome being able to kind of just whatever I need now is I just text the equipment person in my agency, and it's there in a couple of days, and
must be nice.
It's whatever you need. Yeah, they take super good care of us and their players that they represent, and yeah, it's crazy. Like in high school, I just remember having like 1 pair of cleats for the whole year, or like having 1 bat or like 1 glove, and now it's like I have like 3 or 4 gloves, and then like 20 pairs of batting gloves, and then like 15 bats, and then like 10 pairs of cleats and turfs, and like whatever you need is right there, because you play 100 and however many games. I think I played 110 this year. So you're always needing new stuff, and when the agency can kind of handle that side of it for you and let you focus on playing, it helps a lot.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty unique 3 right there.
Oh yeah.
We a lot of our guests have their fair share of comedians. They have their fair share of, like people that just mean a lot to them, like family members. But no, that's unique 3. I'll definitely say that. Our next Snap question for you, Jake. If you could go, any place in the world to live, like what's your dream city to live in?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I haven't really thought about it much. So I've lived in Lakeland my whole life, and I mean, I didn't really know anything other than Lakeland. Obviously, I'd visited other places and, whatever, it was cool. But when I got to Arizona, like, I actually loved it out there. Like, Scottsdale is really nice. There's tons of places out there that are super cool. Sedona, the Grand Canyon's out there. But, yeah, I think, Scottsdale would be a cool place. It's close to the complex. It's awesome place to live. The city life's cool. And then think another one I would love to live on the beach somewhere, like seaside maybe, something like that. That's something that I was thinking about as well.
I feel like California, like San Diego or something, would be super cool.
San Diego was awesome. I actually went out there right before the draft. The Padres flew me out there like Saturday, and the draft was Sunday or Monday. Like,
that's cool.
The same, like the day before for like a little pre-draft workout. So it was awesome. They flew me out there. Me and my dad went. Worked out at Petco Park and like took BP. It was,
that's sick,
it was crazy.
dude.
It was awesome. It was super cool.
I don't know. I feel like if I was gonna pick a beach, I think I'd go like Hawaii or like something like really unique. I don't know.
Well, hopefully his future career will help him pick that out.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can pick from 5 or 6 different
wherever
teams.
you need.
Yeah, exactly.
Hit free agency and get a big old contract.
Yeah.
But so what are some of your hobbies outside of baseball, man? Whenever you got downtime, you're on the road or whatever, like what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, on the road we're playing a lot of video games, like I said, and then just hanging out, whether it's watching basketball, watching football, watching hockey, literally anything to kind of just get your mind off baseball. Like when you leave the field, like none of us want to talk about baseball, like because we're playing it all the time, and that's our whole day. We're kind of just trying to find something different and trying to get our minds off of that. And then when I'm home, I play golf. So right when I got home, I started playing golf like pretty consistently, and then because I was taking a little bit of time off swinging and hitting, but I just started up hitting again, so I'm not playing any golf because it's kind of messing with my swing a little bit. So focusing back up, getting ready to go to this little mini camp. But I love to play golf, and then pretty much in my other free time, I'm just serving at church and just hanging out there, serving with the youth and things like that.
That's sick, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Seems like you have your head on straight. You know how to stay out of trouble with your extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
We have another, it's kind of our last snap question we got for you tonight. What is, it's kind of one I came up with because when I was on the road, man, I ate like crap. We'd stop at gas stations and pick up junk food and whatnot. So what I'm getting at is what's your go-to snack, man? When you're traveling on that bus ride, that long 8.5 hour trip somewhere, what's your go-to munch?
Man, I think something that's literally been mine since high school was honey buns. Like,
dude, same, bro. Literally same. That's what I eat before every game.
Dude, like whenever I was having a bad day or like something, I would just come home, my mom would have a box of honey buns on my bed, and I'm like, with a little note on it, I'm like, this is amazing, dude. So like, that was something that I always had stocked, like on the road or like, just in my apartment in the pantry, whatever. Like I always had a honey bun or
man.
Like some sort of candy. Like we would always just raid the hotel snack bar because we didn't have a car or anything. We'd be up late, like playing FIFA or something, just trying to get
hungry.
some snacks, bro.
Go smash some honey buns.
I'm so glad that you said honey buns because, before double headers in college, I'd go to the local Circle K, 2 honey buns, 1 before the game, 1 before the double header, and just chill out.
Honey bun and a Red Bull, bro.
Yep, honey bun and a bang was mine.
Yeah.
I'm a big Red Bull guy too.
Me too, dude. I would love to get sponsored by them one day.
Oh yeah, because they have so many cool videos.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, Red Bull.
I think I feel like they do a lot of like motocross and snowboarding and like that kind of stuff. I don't know if they do any baseball.
They should definitely try to.
I think they do like soccer players.
Yeah. Maybe they could tap into that market with you.
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool.
Would you want the old Jordan brand? I know select people would get it.
That would be crazy. I only see a couple guys in the bigs with the Jordan brand, which is...
You got like Yachty and then Derek Jeter had it.
You got Machado. You got, I think Vladdy's with him now. Vladdy Guerrero.
They're very selective on who they take on.
Dude, Kutch from my hometown,
mm-hmm.
he got offered, the Jordan deal, and he turned it down. Turned the Jordan deal down.
Yeah, he's got Griffey, doesn't
he?
Griffey,
2 years later, Nike put out their first line of Griffey cleats, and that's what he got he got the Kutch Griffey series, bro. I have like 3 or 4 pairs at the house. They're insane looking. It looks so cool, and they were black and gold too. So obviously I had to flex those on the field in high school.
A big thing when we're going through the equipment process of picking deals and stuff. It's don't pick a smaller company just because they're giving you a deal, or don't pick a company in general just because they're giving you a deal if you're not comfortable in them. The comfort's what matters.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of players are cutting back, or brands are cutting back on minor league player deals because They just lost so much during COVID year. So like, I mean, you really, it's hard to get a deal unless you're, you know, kind of like a first rounder who gets, you know, millions of dollars. And,
Right.
but, you know, I'm blessed enough to know like an Adidas rep who kind of just, you know, sends me whatever I need throughout the year. And then my agency, you know, if I need something else, they get that for me. You know, it's awesome.
You mentioned a little bit about the agency and how they're taking care of you. If you don't mind me asking, how does the finances work with the agency? Do you give them, you know, a cut of your paycheck every month, or do you pay them regularly, or do they take a percentage of your signing bonus, or how did that work?
So they take a percentage of my signing bonus. They don't take any of my like salary during the year. They take a percentage of my signing bonus and a percentage of my marketing deals, like you know, like Topps brand. You know, I have a contract with them signing cards,
T-shirts, stuff like that.
Yeah, any like marketing, they take money from that, and then they take money from your bonus. But
Okay.
yeah, that's how that works.
Do you have a Topps card of you?
Yeah, I do.
Dude, you got to get us one. We'll put it up here somewhere in the studio, man.
Yeah,
We'll-
I got a Topps contract, and then Leaf cards, and then Panini is another brand.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, so the new set of Topps is coming out. I just met with a Topps rep to sign a bunch of them, so those will be out. I think they'll be out soon. So
Sweet.
Yeah, bro.
We're going to have to go rip
Yeah,
some packs. We're going to have to go to the local
Yeah.
Walmart and buy a couple. so
yeah,
we
it's
can
crazy. I'm
play.
in like packs. It's weird.
That's crazy. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Jake, man, thank you.
Yeah, bro.
It helps us out, and we loved having you on and be
No.
able to get your story, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was a lot of fun, and it's an honor being on the pod.
Dude, it's an honor for it's an honor for you to be on the pod, exactly, because it's an honor for us to have you here, man. Like we want to keep getting bigger and keep getting better, and an MLB player, man, that's pretty big time for us.
Yeah, that's
only
huge.
episode 9, man. We're on the right path.
Yeah, and cool thing we do, and I mention this every episode on social media, we follow back everybody that we have on the podcast. So if you ever looking for any of the people that we've had on social media, go to our following, and it'll be every single person. It'll be Brian and I and every person we've had on. So we'll be following Jake back, and if y'all want to go see that blue check mark for yourself, go look him up. But
Absolutely.
yeah, man, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
All right,
Thank
partner.
you guys.
Until next week, the Rule 1 Podcast. We're out. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and all of our social medias are at Rule 1 Podcast. Give us a follow.
Yeah, until next week, guys.
All right, now we're good.